Qualifying under the lights on the streets of Jeddah, one of the most demanding challenges of the F1 Academy season. Round 2, and it was time for drivers to take on the streets. Some finding the wall. Leah Block, her session coming to an early end, and just like round 1, she will be going from the back. Dorian Pan trying to push for pole position. Some drivers just pushing that little bit too hard, but out front it was Chloe Chambers who took her first pole position in F1 Academy. She will start from pole position tomorrow. This the reverse grid race 1. Welcome everyone to round 2 of F1 Academy. We are getting ready to go racing for the first of 2 races this weekend. A lower scoring race, one where we reverse the top 8. It will be the same in distance though. 13 laps they have to do around the Jeddah Corniche circuit, 27 corners in total. Dorian Pan led every single lap of every race here last year, but she will be going from 7th place out front. For the first time we'll have a Sauber livery car leading us away in Emma Felbermeyer with Ella Lloyd alongside her on the front row. It's going to be a very exciting race, and there you see Emma Felbermeyer to the left hand side of your screen and Ella Lloyd to the right hand side of your screen. And here to call you through all the action, myself, Chris McCarthy, alongside me, Alice Powell.
Hi everyone, great to be back and great to see more racing on track due shortly from F1 Academy. We had some great racing at Shanghai, and you always know there's excitement, and new to this year, returning to the series, is of course the reverse grid race. They did have this back in the very first season, but they didn't have it last year, so an added element for the drivers to adapt to and to get used to, and particularly those that qualified on pole yesterday and at the sharp end. They'll be looking to move as far up the field as they possibly can.
Well, here is how they line up. Leah Block, just like she had at China, did not set a time in qualifying, albeit for different reasons. This time she goes off the back with Farah Al-Yusuf, the wild card. Then it is the 2 high-tech teammates, Ava Anagnostiadis, who became the first Australian to score points with Nicole Haverder. Courtney Crone is next on row 7. Rafaela Ferreira, who turned 20 years old yesterday. Aurelia Nobels is next alongside Joanne Chiconti, just outside the top 10. She qualified well last time. Let's see if she can move forward. Chloe Chong, of course, a returning driver from 2023. She's alongside Nina Gaidman, recovering from an injury she picked up in the pre-race test. Chloe Chambers, then she'll go from pole tomorrow alongside Dorian Pan, who took the checkered flag first in both races here last year. Maya Verg, second in the championship. She's alongside Alicia Palmovsky, who won the first race of the season. And then we have Alba Larsen next, the 16-year-old. Can she make history today? Tina Hausman alongside her. Ella Lloyd is on the front row with Emma Felbermeyer. Those top 4 yet to get a win in F1 Academy. We have the likes of Alba Larsen, who could become the youngest driver to get a podium in F1 Academy as well. Emma looking to become the first Austrian to take a podium. Alba looking to become the first Danish driver to get on the podium as well. So lots at stake, but 4 drivers up the front, Alice, in unfamiliar territory in terms of fighting for podiums.
Certainly is. Ella Lloyd's had experience of starting on the front row in British F4 last year, so she'll know the feeling of what it's like lining up. We've got 2 Rodins, as we mentioned, on the front row, and their last win was with Abby Pulling in Abu Dhabi in race 2 last year, so they'll be looking forward to hopefully for getting both of their drivers on the podium. But who knows? F1 Academy is unpredictable. They don't have the use of DRS, unlike Formula 3, Formula 2 and Formula 1. So no push to past either. All their overtaking has to be done by being brave on the brakes, being smart, getting in the toe. And of course, Leah Block, she's starting at the very back after that incident in qualifying yesterday. However, she started at the back in Shanghai and was able to get a break into the top 10 for both races last time out. So she'll be looking to put that incident in qualifying fully behind her and moving forward, as I've got a spectator for a bird just moving out the way before Emma approaches.
Yeah, let's quickly clear that up then. So Leah Block, at the first round, it was because she had an incident in free practice, which meant she couldn't take part in qualifying. She had that with Rafaela Ferreira. Yesterday in qualifying, she crashed at the final corner, and that took her out of qualifying before she had set a representative lap time. That was the story of qualifying. Some new faces that could get on the podium today. Tina Hausmann will be going off third place, looking to try and get her first podium at an F1 Academy. And we caught up with the top three after qualifying yesterday. Let's first hear from third place starter, Tina Hausmann.
Yeah, I want to have a clean race. It will be super important to have a good start and then stay calm and do a good job. For sure there are rookies, but still good drivers. So yeah, we'll see today what we can do, what we can find, and it's all about the details. So we'll go for it.
At the end of the day, you're out there to race, you know, whether it's a teammate or not, you're out there to do the same job. So my aim is to win, get a good start and just get my head down. That's all I can ask for, really. And yeah, just minimise mistakes and just push to the end.
I focus the most on a good start. I don't have a lot of starting experience, so it's gonna be tough, but the one in China was pretty good. So second time front row, and yeah, I hope I can repeat this.
There we hear from our top three. Alice, what challenge lays ahead for Emma Felbermeyer as we see her leading us up to pole position for the first time? Long straights around the circuit. As you mentioned, no DRS. What does she have to do to keep hold of that lead?
So first challenge is getting temperature up into these Pirelli tyres. Track temperature's at 56. It's a little bit cooler than what it was in qualifying yesterday, but very similar to what it was in free practice. So getting temperature into the tyres and then getting that launch spot on. Pretty much most of the drivers will preload the clutch just to get that extra launch when they go off the line as they're approaching into the final corner now. So if Emma gets that launch, gets that start, she then needs to focus on just nailing those exits, because as we said, there's some very long straights out here, and then she hopes that they start scrapping behind, which will be you know, delight to her, and then she can pull away. But it's never as simple as that, Chris.
Tina Hausmann, the only returning driver in the top five. She's got a good opportunity today. She just missed out on the podium the last race of last season. She's going to have to use that experience here to try and get after that lead early.
Experience is key, making sure that you're aware of your surroundings. There's that bottleneck going into turn one, and no doubt I expect we'll probably see a few cars being edged off and taking to the escape road essentially and cutting the track. I know that the race directors will be pretty hot on checking in to see who's doing what and who gets a penalty or not. As they're pulling up, they'll line their front wheel up just with the yellow line that you can see, which is either side of the grid box. That's basically for the driver to make sure that they get that wheel in line and they're not overshooting their grid box. So pretty much all cars are on grid. I think we just had a staller, didn't we? That was our wild card, yeah. And it looks like she's not got back into position before the first safety car line won, so there may be a penalty incoming there.
Points to the top 8, 13 laps ahead of us. This is round 2, race 1 of F1 Academy. There is the green flag at the back of the field to the right of screen. Ella Lloyd to the left of screen. Emma Felbermeyer. We are go for race 1 of round 2 here at Jeddah. Great launch for Ella Lloyd, and she is going to go straight to the lead as we go down towards turn 1 for the first time. Alba Larsen in the Tommy Hilfiger livery going wheel to wheel there with Red Bull Racing's Alicia Palmovsky for third place. It's Palmovsky who wins that first battle, but it's McLaren-backed Ella Lloyd who's going to lead into turn 4 for the first time, and she is just ahead of Emma Felbermeyer with Alicia Palmovsky in third. Alice.
All clean through the first couple of corners. A great launch by Ella Lloyd as well, and Alicia Palmovsky, we'll check in a replay in a moment. She started all the way down in 5th place, so a fantastic launch from her. Emma riding the curb a bit too much on the exit, so here's the toe effect. Well, all the cars dipping in the slipstream as we've got Nobles having a look on the outside of Joanne Giaconte, and the Haas of Courtney Crone having a look on Raffaella Ferreira as well.
Nina Gaven. She might be carrying an injury this weekend, but she is going straight after Dodian Pan as well. She's in the pink Alpine livery, and she is trying to get past the Mercedes-backed Dodian Pan, who led every single lap here last year. So we already have a new leader at Jeddah, and it is Ella Lloyd who is going after this race win early on. And Alicia Palmowski trying to line up Emma Felbermeyer. No DRS in F1 Academy. So we will see Alicia Palmowski trying to make this move as quickly as possible. There we can see Alba Larsen running wide, and in the Ferrari livery, that is Maya Berg, who's going to take advantage and take 4th place.
Oh, she was so close to the wall on the outside there. So that's job done for Maya. She'll now look to close the gap from Alicia Palmowski, and that's so important for these drivers that are fighting at the front end of the championship. How crucial these points are to gather. You get, of course, less points for the reverse grid race, but still they need to try and make their way further up the field as much as they can. As we see Nina Gaidman side by side with Chloe Chambers, she's just snuck over the pit lane line there, so we'll keep an eye out if anything comes up on our screen. But Alicia Palmowski's on the attack of Emma Feldmeyer, decides to have a look round the outside. Emma's nice and tidy on the brakes, pretty much gets the car stopped and a nice exit. So Palmowski will be hoping to clear Emma as quickly as possible, because now she'll be looking at mirrors, go, uh-oh, we've got a Ferrari of Maya Berg approaching.
And not only that, look at the gap building on the timing tower to your left. It is 1.8 now to Ella Lloyd, and Tina Hausmann will have that same feeling you talked about in the mirrors. She can see a Mercedes all over the back of her, and that is Dodian Pan, who's trying to make places. Dodian Pan has to make this move quickly because Chloe Chambers has gone by Nina Gaidman, and she's closed this gap down, Alice. This is now a three-way battle for 6th place.
It certainly is, and I think we could get an even more of a battle for 2nd place as well. You see Alba Larsen just tagging onto the back of her teammate Maya Berg. Tina Hausmann as well. She matched her qualifying best of finishing in 6th place in qualifying yesterday. So she's not driver to finish on the podium yet, but there's plenty of opportunities as we go towards the middle part of the race. But Dorian Pan down in 7th, not had the best of starts, gained no places. She's had 11 consecutive top 5 finishes in the series so far, so she'll be hoping to continue that record as she sees her championship rival, one behind her and one a couple of places in front.
Dodian Pan knows how to finish in the points. It's what she always does in this series. Up towards turn 22 we go, a corner that has been catching drivers out across every single category this weekend. And Dodian Pan, that's a good run. We could see a move incoming here to the final corner. Dodian Pan right in the slipstream of Tina Hausmann. Is she going to make this move? Tina Hausmann, I think, can see Dodian Pan is right behind her. Will she go defensive? Here we go. Watch for the Mercedes, watch for the Aston Martin. There they are side by side, but up ahead it's a change for P2. Alicia Palmowski down the inside of Emma Felbermeyer, and that is a change for 2nd place, but Felbermeyer trying to fight back on the exit. Dodian Pan did go by Hausmann in the background.
Yeah, Emma Felbermeyer is going to try and get the toe from Alicia Palmowski, who's gone defensive, and look round the outside already with the benefit of a better exit and a toe too by Maya Berg. She's already on the back, right on the back of Alicia Palmowski. As we look back now, this has brought everybody into the fight for this podium position, and just looking in the background as well, Tina Hausmann was able to keep that place from Dorian Pan.
Yep, she went round the outside on the brakes at turn 1. Great driving from Tina Hausmann. Oh no, it goes from bad to worse for Leah Block. She is stationary on the circuit, facing in the wrong direction on the exit of turn 2. Non-qualifier due to a crash at the final corner. And that is now going to be a very uphill battle for Leah Block, who's had an incident at turn 2.
Ella Lloyd continues to stretch her legs out of the top, fastest of anybody by at least 3/4 tenths in the first sector. She'll be looking in her mirror. 2.7 seconds is the gap, but big disappointment for Leah Block. Now Joanja Conte going through the shot there has got a gap behind. Here's the start replay, and you could just see the absolute launch, the drive that Ella Lloyd was able to get, and Emma Felbermeyer knew at that point, right, got to concede, try and keep 2nd position, as they were nice and tidy, got quite close between looks like Maya Berg and Tina Hausmann, as well as Alba Larsen and Alicia Palmowski, but nice and tidy from everyone as we were on board with Alicia to see how she was able to capitalise. And it was Tina Hausmann going to the left to defend by Alba Larsen, and Alicia said, well, thank you very much, I'll brave it round the outside, and that bravery paid off.
Great driving from Alicia Palmowski, very aggressive there at the start. That's helped to get into second. Let's watch the view from Dorian Pan.
Now, I think Dorian just jump start at the start. So yeah, let's keep focused and try to make some progress.
I mean, Dorian got a couple of jump starts that were very close last year, in all honesty, and looking at that, I don't think she jumped the start. But here we go. We're going to have a look what happened to Leah Block. Is there going to be some kind of contact? Well, that looks like it was probably contact from behind. I'm just going to see who that was actually with. We'll try and have a look. But the battle for second is hotting up.
Yeah, and they're three wide in the background. Felbermeyer, Pan and Houseman, Chambers with the best seats in the house. Meanwhile, we're side by side between Palmovsky and Berg. It is still Palmovsky in second in the Red Bull colours. Berg is there in third place. Berg having to take to the exit of the circuit. Gaidman is in this fight as well. And Aurelia Nobels in the Puma back car is also joining the fight. This goes all the way back to 10th. And we have points going back to P8.
So, while we've been checking out our lovely replays, that's Chloe Chong. I wonder if she was possibly have had contact with Leah Block at some point, but that's quite far around the lap. But we've got Haverda is in the pit lane, so maybe there's a bit of contact there. But we've had a lot of positions changed. Larson's up past Emma Felbermeyer, and Dorian Pan eventually made her way past Tina Houseman. She's charging now down the back of Emma Felbermeyer, as we've got a good battle. Auriella Nobles as well has snuck her way up into the top 10.
Well, Ella Lloyd will be hoping there is no safety cars in this race, because she is 2.9 seconds clear. Dorian Pan, meanwhile, is going to try this move on Emma Felbermeyer, now past Tina Houseman. That move is secured. Can she get past Emma Felbermeyer next, who is running in P5? We ride on board with the Mercedes driving out, and there is the safety car, and that is for Chloe Chong, and Ella Lloyd's 2.7 second lead will be diminished.
I mean, there must be debris somewhere on the circuit, because it looked like Chloe Chong's car was nicely parked out the way, unless there's something on track that we can't see. So that will be huge disappointment for Ella Lloyd, who's done everything correctly during this race, nailed the start, built that gap where they were all battling behind. So she's going to have to try and do it all over again. Of course, it's going to be a safety car restart that she's going to have to deal with, and the field will bunch up. They'll continue to weave just to keep that tyre temperature. Some other drivers may elect to let the tyres take a dip in temperature before then continuing to weave later on. But it's going to continue. These battles, can guarantee it. We're approaching halfway distance of the race as we look back from Alicia Palmovsky's car, and there's a safety car to pick up our group of drivers.
Well, let's go through the top 8. We can see Lloyd, Palmovsky, Berg, Larson, Felbermeyer, Pan, Houseman and Chambers. We have a safety car out, and Chloe Chong, as you can see to the left-hand side, is out.
We can win this, come on.
Maya Berg, team radio there now. She will be looking at trying to get past Palmovsky and Lloyd straight away, as we see the drivers just behind safety car. This is going to bunch everything up, and that is why we have the safety car, because we have damage to the car of Chloe Chong, who is at the side of the circuit. So we need to get that car to a safe position, and whilst that is being done, we have the safety car out.
I mean, she's done the correct thing. You can see an orange marker on the sides there, paint on the Armco, and that indicates to the drivers that that's a safe place and a gap in between those two barriers for the drivers to pull off. So she's managed to get to there, and obviously has, you can see, quite heavily front damage to the right front there. So she's not able to continue make it to the pit lane, but she looks pretty much out the way, unless they feel that they need to make that even safer by dragging the car out. But she's still sat in the car, so she's not been told to hop out yet, so we'll see. The marshals here do a fantastic job of recovering cars, and it was quite a quick clean-up after Leah Block's incident, wasn't it, yesterday in qualifying. So let's see if this is going to be the replay. So this is what we saw earlier. Going down the inside was Leah Block on the number 25 of Joanne Conte. She's had contact behind. I expect that's going to be Chloe Chong. And Chloe did quite a good job to drag that car all the way round. Here we go. No, I'm totally wrong. It was Courtney Crone.
Yeah. Let's another look at it.
I got involved in the accident, couldn't avoid it.
So it's avoiding action. So that's really, and you can see it's already badly damaged. Really unlucky for Chloe Chong, as the Charlotte Tilbury car unfortunately out of the race with damage. But her teammate, they've both run in the Rodin Motorsport team. Ella Lloyd has been doing a solid job so far. Was coached by Abby Pulling, reigning champion at the test here a couple of weeks ago. We're not going to give Abby any credit though, of course.
Yes, we did get a 10-second stop-go penalty for Farah Al Youssef. That's something that we did see come up as well for a starting procedure infringement, but that gives us the explanation as to what's happened with Chloe Chong. And now we get ready for what is got to be, Alice, one of the toughest restarts of the season here at Jeddah. You've got this long start-finish straight, and Ella Lloyd, I'm sure, already will be going through this in her head, how she's going to approach this.
Yeah, she needs to, I'm sure she would have done, have watched Dorian Pan's restarts from last year, because we had a couple of safety car restarts and Dorian nailed every single one of them last year. So it can be done. She was able to fend off Abby Pulling to take 2 race wins. Of course, then she took the checkered flag twice, so got a penalty in the second race. It's the Rodin Motorsport team we just saw watching on there. Zimba, who was Abby's engineer last year, Ella Lloyd's engineer this year, and a sad sight for Chloe Chong. And she, unfortunately, the drivers are instructed to keep their helmets on, so that's why Chloe's not just sat there baking out of choice. The drivers are told they have to keep their helmets on, and it's not pleasant, it must be said, after sweating and working hard in the car to then stop and be sat there in 30-degree heat with your helmet on for at least probably another good 20-25 minutes.
Not at all. Going back to Ella Lloyd, Alicia Palmowski coming into the weekend, is this part of their preparation that they would have done, preparing for this, either leading the safety car train, being second, going through that with team members? Is this something they would have done?
Yeah, I'd be shocked if they didn't. Every driver will have watched, of course, the races from last year. They've done plenty of testing here. They would have known the better places to go, the better places to bring their tyres in, places to avoid where there might be a bit more pickup. And we can see Susie Wolf, managing director of F1 Academy, watching on, plays obviously a massive role in supporting all of these female drivers, past and present, always giving them plenty of advice and help from her fantastic career that she had. But yeah, they would have gone through, done their homework. Some maybe would have gone into a bit more detail than others, and I'm sure the teams would have passed on plenty of information as well. One thing to also note, race drivers, the race director's instructions are no weaving permitted on the entrance of turn 27 when the safety car eventually does come in. So that is entrance to the final corner, so that's something that we can also look out for as well.
Yeah, we've had some great performances in the race so far. Alicia Palmowski has made her way through from 5th up to 2nd. Dorian Pan trying to fight through. She's up in 6th. Maya Verg has come from P6 to P3. We've got that fight just down towards the back end of the point scorers. Houseman is in 7th, Chambers in 8th, and then just outside, Nina Gateman is there in P9. She's driving very well considering the circumstances this weekend. Aurelia Nobels in P10. That rounds out your top 10 so far, and then Rafaela Ferreira next. And here we go. We're getting ready for the safety car restart next. Of course, it is a long lap round here, so plenty of time now for Ella Lloyd to prepare herself for this restart. Likewise for Alicia Palmowski to prepare her attack.
Alicia knows that she's got to try and get past Ella as quickly as possible, because then that will help minimise the attack that she will get from behind, because it looks like in the stages before the safety car that Maya Verg just had the legs on Alicia in terms of pace. but they'll know that that it's important to pick up as many championship points as possible, because that could all count in the final stages when we come to Las Vegas at the end of the season, which will be our final round of the F1 Academy for this year.
Use this safety car as a chance to reset. Yeah, put some pressure on Larson ahead.
Yeah, and that's the exact advice for all the drivers. Good chances for Dorian Pan as well, because she's leading the championship, 5 points behind her when the 2 points for pole are given to Chambers now are the likes of Verg and Chambers, so she'll want to get after Verg as we get ready for this restart.
She will. It's going to allow, if it stays like this, they'll like to be pretty much level on points. So Ella Lloyd has backed the field right up now, and you can see riding on board with Alicia Palmowski there. She was just making sure she was in the right gear, not being distracted by Ella's weaving, and they should, as they all approach into turn 27, make sure that they do stop the weaving. Ella continuing, brought the pace down very, very slowly as they all start to form up. Don't want to be near gear too high, and you don't want to be gear too low. You've got to find that absolute sweet spot.
Ella Lloyd
has got the car rotated, and she's put the hammer down.
We are back underway and racing in F1 Academy, this race one of round 2, and we are back green once again. Ella Lloyd leads us over the line as we go on to lap 8 of 13. Alicia Palmowski in second, our championship leader in the Mercedes liveried car there. Dorian Pan going to the outside of Emma Felbermeyer. Are we going to see an immediate change? Yes, we are. Change for P5. Dorian Pan trying to get after her championship rivals. Maya Verg up ahead, and that is caused more changes in the background. Tina Hausmann in the Aston Martin livery there goes by Emma Felbermeyer, or does she? She just hangs on to it. Nina Gaidman in the Alpine livery trying to get by Chloe Chambers, who will be on pole tomorrow. So great fights as we get back underway in racing.
Maya Verg had a look down the inside of Alicia Palmowski, just wasn't enough to make it stick, and you could see gaps slightly opened there between Tina Hausmann and Dorian Pan. So Dorian is right up with this front group, but a great restart by Ella Lloyd. But we'll see what the race directors think of that weaving going into the final corner. On the notes, it said you cannot weave into the entrance of 27, and she certainly was doing that. So we'll see what judgment that they take there.
We certainly will. She's had a good restart though. That aside, hasn't she? She's 8 tenths clear, and now we go on board with Dorian Pan and the back of the car moving for Alba Larsen, and look at the effect there. Dorian Pan has the run here, going up to turn 22. Is she going to be brave enough to make a move? Door slammed shut in her face by Alba Larsen. Dorian Pan trying to get 4th place. The top 3 are escaping up the road, and just for now she will have to sit in P5, and Alba Larsen's run wide there, Alice.
Yeah, it's going to really hamper her exit. We've seen plenty of cars run wide at turn 22. Alba Larsen was able to pretty much keep it on the track and avoid going over that really aggressive exit curb and entry of 23, so she's elected to hug the inside. Dorian Pan's going to be forced to go round the outside. It's all looking pretty even Stevens for the top 3, as actually I think that gap's come down to Ella Lloyd between Palmowski.
It certainly has. It's down to half a second. Chloe Chambers all over the back of Emma Felbermeyer as well, trying to get the switch back, but this our main focus for the time being. It is Dorian Pan versus young Alba Larsen, the 16-year-old. Up towards the first corner they go, and Dorian Pan filling the mirrors of Alba Larsen, who is not folding under the pressure at all, just leaves a bit of room on the inside there. Dorian Pan now trying to get past, but she is not able to find a way through at the moment. This is great defence from Alba Larsen.
Very good defence from Alba, our second youngest driver on the grid. Pan radio.
She's moving 100 times.
So Dorian not particularly happy with the defence of Alba Larsen. I'll be point to possible moving under braking, so that's been reported. The drivers know that the race directors are listening into the radio message, but that's allowed Tina Hausmann to come up to the back of this battle. Chloe Chambers has snuck her way through Emma Felbermeyer. Nina Gaidman now is all on the back of her, going to have a look down the inside into turn 13. Emma closes the door, a small lock-up from Nina Gaidman, so Emma manages to keep the position. A big slide there, Chris, from Chloe Chambers. With these hot temperatures, that's the last thing you want to do. That will really damage the surface of the tyre, but she'll be looking to still close that gap. So we've got battles wherever we look throughout the field. We've also got a battle there you can see from the number 25 and 18. That's Rafael Ferreira and Joanja Conte.
Yeah, this is for the last point as well. It is being led by Felbermeyer in the Sauber livery, but we go back to this battle once again. Dorian Pan not happy with Alba Larsen's defence, but Alba Larsen is still there in P4. The Prema Racing team watching on to see if Pan can make this move. Larsen for now is holding strong in P4. What about into this hairpin down at turn 27? Dorian Pan, is she going to find a gap on the inside? She is this time. There she goes down the inside, and our championship leader is up to P4, but now has to try and hold out Alba Larsen off down this long start-finish straight, Alice.
Yeah, you can just see from that onboard how effective the tow is. So Alba Larsen's had no choice but to duck out of it already before we even cross the start-finish line. Gap at the front is down to under half a second. Ella Lloyd soaking up all the pressure. Myberg's gone down the inside of Alicia Palmowski. Just not enough to take the position. Alba Larsen's attacking Dorian Pan, but that's allowed Tina Hausmann to come and join the battle. She could possibly get her best result in F1 Academy if she's able to sneak past Larsen, but this battle is really continuing. Ella Lloyd doing a great job soaking up all the pressure, and Alicia not over defending, almost knowing that the move is going to be made by Maya Berg down the inside, but knowing that she can hang it round the outside of turn 1 that will then give her the inside for turn 2.
It's a great three-way fight. Likewise in the background, as you said, Tina Hausmann is right there as well. It was almost as if Larsen let Dorian Pan through because she knew she would get the run on the exit. But look at the pace of Dorian Pan. Now she is through. She's already broken clear by over a second. That's Courtney Crone. We saw her make contact earlier in the race, which eventually led to that safety car. She made contact with Leah Block, and she's now into pit lane. Meanwhile, this is the battle for the top 3, Alice, and they've been exchanging fastest sector times. The gap has been going up and down between 8/10 to 4/10, and now it's at 4/10. Let's look back at this move then.
So Dorian forced her to defend, and then Alba decided not to continue that defence, and Dorian said, well, thank you very much. Up the inside she went, made the move stick, was then under immense pressure going down into turn 1, but was able to keep that move. Alicia Palmowski now is closing down this gap to Ella Lloyd. Maya Berg is dropped back ever so slightly. And there's the confirmation of a 10-second time penalty for Courtney Crone, who we just saw in the pits there. So Ella on the brakes, had a little bit of a lock-up. She's run possibly a bit wide, so she's going to be under more even immense pressure as she heads down. This is the closest that has been so far in terms of time-wise between these three drivers.
2 purple sectors in the background as well for Dorian Pan. She's about to set the fastest lap and does. That is an extra point in the bag for her. Over the line, down to turn 1 we go. And look at the gap, it's down to under 2.5 seconds. If a fight starts here, it could become between 4 drivers. Ella Lloyd dealing very well with this pressure. She has got Alicia Palmowski and Maya Berg in the background, and Dorian Pan is just hoping that it all kicks off up ahead.
Oh, wide there for Ella Lloyd. That's going to hamper her exit, but luckily we're in this roller section. I'm out of corners, so it's slightly harder for the drivers to follow. Let's have a look with Nina Gaidman. She's on the back of Emma Felbermeyer. Is she going to elect to go to the left, the right? She's forced to go to the right-hand side, and that will be then who's latest, who's bravest on the brakes, able to get the car stopped. I expect Elba Felbermeyer will bleed back into picture at some point. No, she doesn't, so nice move by Nina.
Great stuff. If she can get a point, that will be a heroic performance given her circumstances. Pan was a second quicker than Ella Lloyd. There she goes through shot, so we'll keep an eye on her in this one as she set the fastest lap. Just watch that timing tower to your left, but what about this move? Is it incoming? Is Alicia Palmowski being patient here, Alice, for the final laps, or is it a case of Ella Lloyd is just not making any mistakes and giving her any opportunities? What about Dorian Pan? Does she have time to catch up?
She does, and she's much quicker than all of these drivers in front in the first sector. So Dorian, I expect, will be on the back of this battle really very soon. But Alicia, she's a smart driver, she's a patient driver, She was our race winner of our first reverse grid race at the start of the year, but she's going to be under immense pressure now, having to defend from Maya Vug. She defends, going to get the car stopped, but Ella's going to be pleased to see this battle in her mirror. That's going to allow her to then continue to open up the gap up front, but already Alicia being forced to defend. She keeps to the right side of the pit lane line that they're not allowed to cross, but Maya's got a very good run, Chris. She's going to get the benefit of the tow from Ella Lloyd as well.
Here we go, change for second. Maya Berg, as I said, will get that tow from Ella Lloyd and will take second place. Deeper on the brakes as well. That was brave stuff from Maya Berg, and Alicia Parmovsky has no choice but to concede position. And now as she takes a look in the mirrors, she will see championship leader incoming, Dorian Pan. There she is. She has set another fastest lap, 2:05.2 for Dorian Pan, 2:05.8 for Ella Lloyd out front. But Ella Lloyd, with that small battle, now has a lead of 1 second with less than 2 laps to go.
Oh, Dorian really pushing, getting out of shape as she went through that section of corners. Added benefit if she does keep fastest lap, that'll be 1 point which could be crucial for later on in the season. Ella's made the jump. She's just set a personal best for her during this race in Sector 1. Bruna Michelle is watching on, having a chat to Susie, F2 and F3 CEO, and that's eventually where all these drivers racing on in this field, eventually where they want to go up into one of Bruno's championships.
They certainly do. All the teams that they're racing with, the likes of High-Tech, Rodin, Prema, they're all here with F2 this weekend, and that is the goal for all of these drivers.
Come on, we are 1 second faster than her. Let's get them.
I feel we could see a possible move immediately here if Dorian Pan can get the run on Alicia Parmovsky. Let's watch her out of this section. Maya Berg, it's a case of what she can do. Can she close the gap down to Ella Lloyd? We're just watching that sector time to the left-hand side of the screen. The gap is 0.8 of a second. It's down to 7. And we are going to be in for a last lap shootout here, Alice, between 4 drivers for the race win. Welcome to F1 Academy. On to the last lap we go, and we ride on board with our championship leader.
Dorian Pan ducking in the tow. You can see she's trying to get perfectly behind Alicia there, and look at the effect of the tow powering up to the back. Alicia pulls over to the left-hand side to make Dorian go the long way round. Is she going to have enough grip to go around the outside? No, she doesn't, but she's forced Alicia to go tight into turn 2. This is going to go give her a great run up through into turn 4.
If she could, she'd almost be giving her the push signal. Get off to the 2 leaders here. Dorian Pan trying to fight to get onto the podium. I tell you what, Maya Berg, this could be a last corner shootout, a run to the line between Ella Lloyd and Maya Berg, because she is catching her with every corner out front. We watch this battle for 3rd place. Who will be on the podium? Will it be Alicia Parmovsky? Will it be Dorian Pan as they head down towards the hairpin at turn 13?
Nina Gaben's in our final points paying position. That gap has come down between Maya Berg, but is it going to be too late for the Ferrari driver to get through on Ella Lloyd, the McLaren back driver who's drove a really solid race, leading pretty much from the get-go at the start of this race. Dorian has lost a little bit of pace to Alicia, following in the dirty air through that section of corners that we've just gone through, but Dorian won't be given up. She's had the G up from her engineer, but we are on the final lap.
We certainly are, and Ella Lloyd is responding to the place of Maya Berg on this final lap. When required, she is putting up a great defence, and she's holding a gap of just over half a second, which is just enough to keep Maya Berg at bay. But what about this run down to the final corner? Can Maya Berg get close enough? Look at the run we have here for Berg. She's getting closer. She's within half a second. Will this be a case of a run to the line? Ella Lloyd, will she have to defend here, because Maya Berg is closing in? She's closing in. She's filled the mirrors of Lloyd. Will Lloyd now make a mistake under this pressure? Can Maya Berg get a run out of the final corner? Drag race to the line incoming for race 1 here at Jeddah, but Ella Lloyd will hold off the pressure of Maya Berg to take her first win in F1 Academy. Maya Berg on the podium in a drag race to the line. It was 1/10 of a second between the pair, and behind Alicia Parmovsky holds off championship leader Dorian Pan to take her 2nd podium in F1 Academy. Well, you wouldn't believe she's not been on the podium before, but Ella Lloyd gives McLaren their first podium here at Jeddah and takes her first win in F1 Academy.
Well done, Ella. Great job. She led it maturely from the start, did the hard work. You can see celebrations for the Rodin Motorsport team as they rack up another win in F1 Academy. Last win was at Abu Dhabi in the race 2 there with, of course, Abby pulling, so added to that total. And really nice to see Chloe Chong, teammate there as well, congratulating everyone. But a solid job from Ella, so let's hear from her.
Great job, well done.
Yeah, thank you.
Very chilled radio. You've just won your first race at F1 Academy.
I was going to say, Susie and Bruno Michel looked a bit out of breath there. But,
I mean, I'm out of breath. I don't know about you.
Well.
We're going to have to lay down after that one. But real mature driving. She was under so much pressure, was Ella, all the way through that second part of the race. She nailed the start, what she needed to do, but a great drive too from Maya Berg, coming from all the way down into 6th place. But
Come on. You're a real true racer.
Car was good.
I agree, true racer, and she almost had a little look down the inside of Ella Lloyd into the final corner. I think that was more to just try and put Ella off, but wasn't able to do so. And another solid job, of course, from Alicia, getting her on the podium once again, and Dorian Pan as well. She would have just hoped, would have just wished that she possibly got a slightly better start than intended, and that could have possibly allowed her to eke up on the podium a little bit sooner.
An 11th career podium in F1 Academy for Maya Berg. Alicia Parmovsky, back-to-back race 1 podiums across both rounds. Did very well to hold off Dorian Pan. It was just 0.2 of a second between them, and we've seen 2 very good performances there, Alice, from 2 drivers in their first season, holding off the experience of the likes of Maya Berg and Dorian Pan behind.
Exactly, and we know how important these reverse grid races can be. Of course, any race is important in all of these championships, but these reverse grid races are added elements of risk as you're starting out of position. If you've qualified on pole, you're starting all the way down in 8th place. So you know you've got to try and keep your nose clean, but at the same time make your way forward. The points aren't as big. You only get 10 points if you win, compared to the 25 if you win in race 2. As our winners now coming down onto the grid, a nice crowd will be waiting to cheer them, of course, as well as their teams that have been sat cooking on the pit wall.
The Papaya pulling into P1 at Jeddah for the first time, and the first person to do it is Ella Lloyd. Well done to her. What a performance she put in. She held off Maya Berg on the last lap there, led us from start to finish, nailed the start, put herself straight into the lead of the race. When the pressure came from Maya Berg at the end, she put a textbook last lap together and did not fold under the pressure either. It was a drag race to the line, but Ella Lloyd did everything right on that last lap to give herself the win ahead of Maya Berg and Alicia Parmovsky, Alice.
Yeah, you can see, it's great to see family down there. We saw Alicia's mum, there's Ella's mum, Jess, as well. Family coming over to support, hugs all around, and great to see the F1 teams come out for their drivers as well. Whether it's McLaren there's Red Bull you can see in the background, and Ferrari, which will be, of course, just out of shot. But well done to Ella. You can see it's a hot race for these drivers. Nearly 30 degrees out there. Track temperature's actually dropped a little bit, but Rodin racking up the wins, Chris.
They certainly are as well. That's 11 for them now. That last lap in particular, though, Alice, the first sector, Ella just seemed to get a bit more of a gap on Maya. Do you think that in terms of how impressive her performance was, that was a standout moment for me? How about yourself, for Ella?
It was. I mean, there's quite a few standout moments, really. Getting that safety car restart right is important. Getting the start at the start right is also important, but she soaked up a lot of pressure. Maya's a very experienced driver. She's a very fast driver. No doubt Ella would have been looking in her mirrors thinking, oh no, really, not Maya, but she held it and she dealt with it all so well and a very experienced team with her engineer Zimba, who was Abby's engineer last year, and I know Abby was passing on plenty of words of advice, even though she's not out in Jeddah with Ella this weekend. She was passing plenty of advice over the phone over the weekend, so really nice to see a great bunch down at Rodin Motorsport. And nice to see Campos up on the podium as well, an MP after a tough year that MP had last year. It's great to see that they're back on the podium with Maya Berg.
Yeah, they're doing great things out there. That's 3 races and 3 different winners this season. Ella Lloyd adding to the list of that, and that will give her a huge amount of confidence going forward. Well done to those 3 drivers who put on a great show. Let's hear what they have to say about it.
Sector 1.
Yeah, but then
Sector 3
you just
I was
straight back, yeah.
And I tried to send it so many times, didn't work.
I know.
I was not trying to dive bomb, I was just hoping you make a mistake.
I could not see you. You were in my blind spot,
Yeah?
so I was just turned in like, I just hoped for the best. Well done, Ella. Good job, well done.
Good job. Nice, first win.
Yeah.
Second race, well, third.
I had like such a big gap at the start and then the safety car.
Yeah, the safety car was...
I saw the safety car, yeah. Is this the start?
But the safety car was so long.
Yeah.
Like, honestly.
I was so scared because Tina was there sometimes.
I know it was me saying that Alicia was playing smart and was seeing, was just playing with Maya Berg going up the inside, and she said she was in a blind spot, didn't see her. So they have got very small mirrors on these F1 Academy cars, but nice to see all the girls having a chat about their race, taking on plenty of water, hot temperatures out there. Hydration is key. They don't have another race today. They're racing at 15:05 local time tomorrow for race 2, where we'll see Chloe Chambers starting off pole position.
Yeah, and it's we saw there that the likes of Ella Lloyd and Alicia Palmowski, great performance from Alba Larson as well. Tina Hausman was fighting in that battle as well. We've got competitive drivers coming into this championship who are going to challenge these returning drivers. It's going to be a wide open series this year.
It certainly could, and it's hotting up at the front. It's only 4 points now between Dorian Panham and Maya Berg. At the top of the standings, Chloe Chambers will stay in 3rd place. Ella Lloyd, that boosts her up now into P5.
Yeah, Campos Racing leading the teams ahead of MP Motorsport by 6 points. So, as we mentioned, good performances from them both, and Prema Racing in 3rd place. But Dorian Pan hanging on to that championship lead ahead of Berg and Chambers.
She's going the wrong way.
All right, let's get them on to the podium then. Alicia Palmowski, well done to her. 2 podiums in as many rounds to start her season. Maya Berg becoming a familiar face up there, and edges just slightly closer to Dorian Pan in the championship. But a first win for Ella Lloyd. She becomes the 15th different winner in F1 Academy, standing on the top step for the first time. Well done to the top 3. Part of a spectacular fight to kick things off this weekend. What a show F1 Academy has put on, and that is just part 1. Part 2 to come up tomorrow. Ella Lloyd, though, that is 3 winners in as many races now, and Ella Lloyd takes her first in F1 Academy. With performances like that, you'd expect more to come throughout the season. Maya Berg continuing to show why she is a firm championship contender. Really grew in this series last year, and now she is racking up the podiums once again. Well done to Maya Berg. That is 3 podiums in 3 races, and 2 and 2 for Alicia Palmowski. She already looks a strong part of this series, and Red Bull Racing will be very pleased with that. And that will be celebrations on the podium. Well done to the top three. Part one complete, Alice Powell. Great race. All the way, a drag race to the line. What are we going to get tomorrow?
Your guess is as good as mine. More of the same, please, and I think we will. Obviously, we'll go back to qualifying positions for tomorrow's race, but a solid job by all of these drivers. There'll be big smiles, of course, but there'll be disappointments for many. We had Chloe Chong not finishing, a retirement from Courtney Crone, as well as that bunch up on the top step of the podium. Big smiles, even a big smile from Maya this time.
Grace, good to see Andrea Stella down there as well. McLaren on the top step of the podium sets off a start of what could be a good weekend for them. Well done to Ella Lloyd. She becomes the first, though, in the Papaya to do it. Let's confirm that race result. Ella Lloyd winning a great fight out front. One that will be remembered for a long time. A drag race to the line with Maya Berg at the end, but Ella Lloyd held off the challenges of the Ferrari back driver. Alicia Parmovsky in third place, Dorian Pan in fourth, then it was Alba Larsen continuing to impress in fifth. Tina Hausman was P6, Chambers in seventh, Nina Gaidman a very impressive eighth, carrying injury this weekend. Felbermeyer ninth, no bells. Then we had Chiconti Block from the back of the field, and then Ferreira and Agnostiades, Havrida Al Yusuf, Crone got caught up in an incident, as did Chloe Chong, and those two incidents connected with each other down at the first corner. That is all for the first race of the weekend. We get ready to do it all again tomorrow. Tomorrow they will start in the order that they qualified. It's expected to be a great race, just 3 points between the top two in the championship, and they are going to be right together in the top three. Join us for tomorrow from 5 past 3 local time.